There's a world where I go to tell my secrets to in my room, in my room. Hey, I'm CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana. Across the Red River is beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana, and I'm here in my kitchen, and this is a segment that I like to call. I decided some time ago I'd call food videos periodically. I'd call them the Impetuous Chef. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, and I'll show you, is straight from frozen. By the way, this packet of sea bass that I have. And in here, I've got the bottom of this pan, sesame seed oil, and then I'm blocking it with some unsalted butter, so I'm going to have a good buttery flavor. In this, I have put basil and oregano, splash of, or a dash or whatever of red pepper flake, and a little bit of garlic powder, just right here in this pan. And then as it melts, I'm just going to kind of give it a little moving around. And I just want this to, I want this butter to melt first. And then I'm going to take the sea bass, the fillet of sea bass, and put it in and do a simmering. And I'm just going to watch the fish and do it until it gets a little bit crispy on the edges. And maybe I'll probably do it a little flip on both sides. I really want this to work. I've never used this method before, and that's why this is a perfect segment to be called the Impetuous Chef. If I do something that I've done a zillion times, maybe there's nothing too impetuous about that. So maybe it doesn't really. Maybe I can just talk about things or whatever, and then sit down with dinner. But if I'm actually doing something that's new, that I haven't done in a while, or I haven't done in this particular way, because I've always done this kind of stuff in an oven, but I want to do this on the stove. I want to get that crispiness going on. So once this gets in, I've got something else. What really works for this is you can use any sort of lemony stuff. I don't have that. I'm going to put into this oil, though, now that I'm thinking of it, I'm going to put in just a touch of vinegar for the acidity that's missing because I don't have the lemon. Oh, and over here we just have some rice going, and so I have the bottom of this pan with some rice, and bring this up to a boil, and then once it comes to a boil, turn it down. You actually can bring it to a boil while it's without a lid, but you don't want it. Will boil over if you don't watch it, so that's cool. You actually could have brought it to a boil. If you're doing it to a boil and then cover it. This was already covered, and I was bringing it to a boil. So this rice is, at this point, it's only 15 minutes away from being done. It's a small batch. So let me get that balsamic vinaigrette into this pan over here. Okay. Now we want to give this a little mixing because we don't want it to just, do this. So hang on one second. So you can see that the vinegar in here does really well. Gives it a little, it's going to give it that flavor, but it's also going to, it's not going to mix well, but that's okay. That's okay. This is a better option than actually taking this and putting it directly on the fish, So I had the lid off to the side because it kept wanting to boil over, and I wanted to let some of the heat come out. There we go. We just have to keep an eye on this rice as we're working here. And the sea bass, both pieces don't want to fit, so I will alternate the layer of this particular piece right here. But I want to go, you know, turn this down. I had it on a medium. I want to bring it to a low medium. The 9 o'clock setting on my dial, which is, for me, it's low dot, right before it gets to number 2. And so, yeah, just, I want a slow cooking on this. Primarily because this sea bass is frozen and I want it to thaw as it cooks. Why? I don't know, because I didn't thaw it out. But fish thaws quick. So, yeah. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to work on this. And then we'll come back and see what's going on. Oh, no, wait. I don't have to pause it yet. Hang on. Okay, I forgot what I wanted to do here, and I already had this planned out. This is right here, Old Bay seasoning. Old Bay seasoning is great for any sort of fish or seafood or something like that. It's good for a lot of other stuff too, but it's great for this. Maybe I'll get just a touch more. Here I poured into my hand a little bit of garlic powder. Granulated garlic would work well. There's some that I put in the oil also that this is cooking in. Why the hell not, right? Okay, let me clean up. I'll be right back. So a little story. I was at the gym with my friend Mike earlier this evening, and we did a great workout. Pretty good 45-minute workout, do a set and then take a moment to recover from the set and then do another set. And I did that. I got there, start out with that nice waterbed massage to loosen me up. I love that. And then I do the workout, and I did about a good 45-minute workout, and then I got back to the chair. There's a deep tissue massage. I like to start my workout with a waterbed massage, and I like to end it with that chair, the deep tissue massage. And so we get that at Planet Fitness. By the way, when I mention these products and things like that, I'm not receiving any endorsements or anything like that. So this is just me talking about my things, and I don't mind giving personal thoughts and opinions on products or whatever. So basically, yeah, Planet Fitness is the gym that I go to, but the reason is because it's the one that Mike goes to, and I ride with Mike because I can barely see well enough to drive a car. I see fine, but I have like this double vision. I do, and it's like, well, I don't want to. Even though I've got my vision is better than 20/20 with the glasses that I wear, but I do get a double vision, and I don't know, hate driving, to be honest with you. I find it a chore. Do you remember how when you're like a teenager and it's like, yeah, I can drive? I did not have that sense of driving. When I started driving, I found it anxiety inducing, and I found it, you know, I would let somebody else drive forever if I could. So basically, yeah, we're starting to get a light sizzle in this pan here. That's what I need. I don't want this to fry too fast. I really don't. If I were trying to fry a crust, like a breading or something like that, I most certainly would want, a really, really hot oil. In this case, though, I really don't want that. Because if I try to do that, because I'm working with frozen cutlets of fish, then what would happen is the outside of it would cook, and then the inside would not be as cooked. And yeah, I don't know. I'd end up with some sort of weird situation. So this is what's really great about this. What's really the impetuous, the experimenting about this is not so much what's going on into the oil and what's not this and that. It's more the how can I do a frozen fish rather than a thawed out fish. But okay, let me pause this video. Be back with you in a moment. Oh yeah, no, we did the workout. We did the workout. Let me finish the story, Mike. And I did the workout. And then as we were leaving, he drove up the street and he was like, "Hey, let's." I was like, "Where are we going?" He's like, "I'm going to go get a custard. You want one?" And I was like, "Yeah, I really do, but I'm not going to have one. You know, I really do want an Andy's custard. You know, but I'm not going to have one." So I resisted, and yay for me. So, and the reason why is the day after tomorrow is going to be Thanksgiving, and I'm going to be overindulgent that day as it is. And then I really need to get really back in after that. I need to get back into a stricter diet so that when I go to see my doctor, they don't just take me out back and shoot me themselves. It's like, let's just put you out of your misery before you kill yourself with food. You know, you know. So, yay. So I'm gonna get back into that. You know, it's really hard, you know, because I'm working out and so I'm gaining, but I want to be gaining muscle. I don't want to gain body fat. You know, I want to decrease the. I want less body fat and I want more body muscle. I want that ratio to close a little bit. I don't want there to be, you know, that percentage of body fat to muscle. I don't want it to be, you know, out crazy, you know. So, and that's what I get to work on, you know. And I will. Okay, so, yeah. So we're seeing the surface of this oil get just a little bit of trouble, being troubled, you know, like how God's going to trouble the water. I'm going to trouble the surface. I'm going to trouble the oil. I will be back shortly, and we'll look at the fish, see how it's going after the click. So I flipped the fish over, getting a really, really good color. That was the bottom side. I flipped it. That piece that was stuck underneath, it kind of did separate and disintegrate under the. So I don't know, but basically, maybe about 6 or 7 minutes away from being done, and then we're going to have some rice and some fish, or I'm going to have some rice and fish, and you know, talk about it, and hopefully you'll be here to keep me company. What will be successful is if I can get this fish onto the platter that I'm going to eat, the plate, without it falling apart and disintegrating. So, but I think my key to do that is now this is thawed out. I can turn up halfway, say maybe to a level 4 on this dial. So that would be, yeah, it'll be just to the left of the 6 o'clock position where you would want the arrow on that dial. For me, just a little under medium, you know, like medium low to, you know, on my dial. And you see this is getting a good simmer here. It's really good. It's a really good idea to know how your oven and your stovetop works. If you go into someone else's home, say if you're going to do a catering gig or something, and you don't know much about their equipment, then be safe. You know, you can all, you know, just it's so much easier to add flame, uh, or if you're not cooking with flame and electric, it's to turn it up. It's easier to gradually turn it up than to take food and put it in something that's too hot and scorch it, burn it. If you're going to be doing any sort of working in somebody else's kitchen over the holidays, as a group cooking affair or something like that, you want to know how the hardware works, how well it works. It's almost like having a relationship. Uh, it's kind of like the people that have like the cars that they've had for 15, 16 years, and they've got those little tricks as to how to get it started. It's very sensitive, that kind of stuff. And that's the thing. That's the thing. There were cars that would be like, hey, there's a trick to this ignition. Blah blah. You got to pat it twice, just gently, then turn it with a little wiggle, and then it'll start. Anything else, it won't work. Uh, yeah. So that's what cooking equipment in a kitchen can be like. Okay, so here we are at the table, and so it's rice, um, just rice uh, in water. I didn't even bother to salt it. I really didn't. Uh, but because the herb and everything is all over, I put all the flavors and the herbs in the oil that I made the fish with, and this is the sea bass, and so. Um, you know, uh, yeah, so this is kind of an experiment on what I can do with the frozen sea bass. Will it do well? And what I did was I started it in the flavored oil, and you saw what I did, and I put a uh, little bit of balsamic vinegar into the oil. That is oil, 2 parts sesame seed oil and 1 part unsalted butter. But look at this. It did get done. Oh, it got flaky. It doesn't seem dry. Let's see how the taste is. How the flavors come out. Mm, wonderful. This is kind of a this is kind of a steakier fish. This isn't your light catfish. This is a hearty fish. It's got some substance. Um, but it's good. It's really good. Um, the only garnish I put on was I used some red pepper flakes all over the plate once I had the rice and the fish down. Uh, but I tell you, it's not heavy. It's not a heavy flavor. It's really not. This was a win. So if you followed me, just a little bit of green herb, whatever you have on hand. I used oregano. Uh, what did I say? Basil in the bottom of the pan with some red pepper, ground red cayenne pepper, and garlic, and then that balsamic vinegar inside of sesame seed oil, 2 part sesame seed oil, 1 part unsalted butter, and a dash of that balsamic vinegar, and stirred around. And the reason why I used the vinegar was to kind of substitute for the lemon. If you have lemon, leave the balsamic vinegar out and just use slices of lemon. Mm. I had some tartar sauce ready to go in case I thought I was going to need it, but I don't think I will. And look at this. It did cook thoroughly all the way through. I cooked it on one side until it thawed. Then I flipped it, turned the heat up, and got it. Yeah, you know, turned the heat up basically because when I did flip the fish in the first place, I lost some of the heat. There's a secret to pan cooking in a skillet like that. The secret is you stay over it. You don't walk off and leave it. Like it's a stew, you can kind of step away from a stew. You don't do that with a skillet. So the cook tends to be a little bit more mindful. Look at this rice. Of course, no, I did not rinse the rice. You could. I was just, um, I was going to put butter on it anyway. So, but yeah, if you want to, you rinse your rice either before or after cooking, and you get, you know, less starch in your rice and more separation. But, I think this is fine. Very mild flavor all the way around. I'm from Louisiana. I love a good spicy flavor. There's the subtle, very subtle, um, slight pepper underneath, but you wouldn't know it. You really wouldn't. You'd be like, It's like it should be. It is an accent flavor. Only if you're ever trying to showcase a spicy uh, flavor. If the only time if you're doing like a sausage or a real spicy something that's supposed to be really spicy, where the spice is the forefront, maybe a 4-alarm chili or something like that. That's the only time your your pepper should take the foreground. Any other time, it should be like this, and it should be a supporting flavor, but not overpowering. You don't ever want the only thing you can taste from your first bite is pepper because there's so much pepper in your dish that you can't taste anything else. The same with garlic. The same with any sort of thing. Unless you actually intend for that flavor to take front and center, all of your spices and flavors should be very mild. That is a lesson I could remember a little bit more often, actually, to be honest with you. Um, Thank you very much. If you've watched and you've gotten to the end of this, love and light. God bless. Bon appetit. Good night.